Warning: this Let's Play may contain discussions including, but not limited to, sexual references, drug use, and violence. It will certainly contain vulgar language and radical lunatic left-wing discussions. It is not intended for younger audiences. Okay, welcome back everybody. This is Thorm with the Game Design Lexicon. We are playing... it's different. Give me a second, Shaq Nunick. Let me look that up. We're currently playing King's Bounty for MS-DOS. I'm going to look up the YS series. So you're talking about YS, the first one, and while the first and second one was okay, I didn't really have too much of a problem with it. I didn't really think it was as good as the third one. The third one really came into its own when they moved away from that weird-ass combat style that they had in the first and second one. So you're talking about YS, The Vanished Omens, or just YS, the one in 1991? Let's see. No, maybe not. That's Sharp X 68,000. That's a weird version. Let's see. Vanished Omens was released in 1987, originally on the MSX. And they had versions. They had the DOS version too. Hell, this looks, well, actually it looks a little shittier than the ones that I played. Interesting. Oh man, the stupid room with the stupid flaming dragons. I fucking hated that shit. Yeah, I'm looking at the screenshots, dude. It's the screenshots are reminding me of all the points in the early part of the game that pissed me off. Let's see. East Eternal? The hell? Oh, that looks like an updated version of the game. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I may eventually play one of the East games, but I have quite a few that are ahead of it that I'd rather be playing that are shittier is an interesting word to describe that game. The DOS version that I was looking at had substantially worse graphics. Here, let me show you what I mean. At least to the ones that I'm used to. Here you go. And of course, this is just the DOS version of Vanished Omens, right? Anyway, yeah, there is that. So one of the next, one of the JRPGs that I really want to play next, if I do play, is I've been playing a lot of JRPGs, and I'm not gonna lie, that shit kind of gets old after a while. So it's kind of hard to kind of keep up with the JRPG stuff. But the ones that I want to really play, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with them. Give me a sec. Let me pull that up. So there is a series that was made for the PSP, and it's all a series that this is some of the most interesting games I think I've ever seen, especially on the PSP. Give me a second. Let me pull it up here. It's your territory, kinda. So it's a 4-game series released for the PSP. It's called the Department Heaven series, right? And I guess the first one was originally released on the Game Boy Advanced, and then eventually ported over to the PSP. And it's called Riviera: The Promised Land. And let's see, they did release for Android, Game Boy, iPad, iPhone, Nintendo Switch, PSP. 4-game series. The second game in the series is called Yggdrasil Union. We Never Fight Alone. Third game in the series is called Nights in the Nightmare, which looks unbelievably fucking awesome. And then the fourth one in the series is called Gungnir, or Gungnir, Gungnir. Here, let me put up the Department Heaven series from there's actually another game on here that I totally, or a few other games on the series that I kind of missed too. But I do have those 4 games that I named. Yeah, exactly. And those, all 4 of them are in the Department Heaven series, and I really want to play those on stream. So chances are I'd probably want to play the Riviera one first, and then move my way up the string of them. One of the reasons why is because I play a lot of JRPG games, and I get kind of tired of them after a while. Last one was Phantasy Star, right? Which wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Luckily, it ended quick. It didn't like drag on. But one of the things that I noticed about the games in that series, heard people talking about Gungnir before, yeah, and that's the 4th game in the series. But all of them. So one of the things that I noticed about the game series that was notable was the fact that each one of these games was very different from any other game, any other JRPG that I'd ever played. For example, Riviera, the Promised Land, when you move around, it's not like... It doesn't work like Final Fantasy or Phantasy Star. You don't like tool around a map or anything like that. You just have little sections, little rooms that you move from like room to room. So I guess a way of describing it would be it works kind of like Darkest Dungeon, if you've ever played that one. You have like a room that you can select to go to, and then your guys just go to it. You encounter what's in that room. You fight the monsters. You can search around, and it's all just room to room based. You don't have to do that whole floating around on a big, huge, map like I'm on right now here in King's Bounty. Text place, and then you move to that. Yeah, that's that. And I find that so that's probably, to me, the most annoying part of any JRPG game is the overland maps, almost always, because you're constantly hassled on them. You have creatures that you encounter that aren't even shown on the overland maps typically, and it's just like a huge hassle. It's like a huge derail every time that happens, right? So I tend to not like that part. What I really like about JRPG combat, or JRPG, is the combat and character development. And in the case of Riviera, the Promised Lands, that's pretty much the focus of the entire game is all on the combat and the character development. Then your Radaga's Union, that one's it's so much different. If you look at the screenshots for it, again, it's kind of like section based like that, but it is so much different than any other game that I've ever played. And then like Japanese RPG, right? So, and then what is it? Character development. Yeah, exactly. Which, isn't exclusive to JRPGs. I mean, CRPGs probably did it the best. So, and then Nights in the Nightmare doesn't even seem like a JRPG to me. I don't really even know how to explain it. It's more like a puzzle strategy. And then Gungnir, I don't think I've ever booted that one up, but I mean, the whole series looks just really awesome. And that's one of the ones that I have my eyeballs on anyway. So, what the hell was I doing? Oh, yeah. I was utilizing my rental boat the best as I can. Oh, Oh, was it? It happens. Yeah, my internet connection is shit. Once I start earning some decent money, I'm probably going to offer to my sister to supplement, you know, give her some of my income so we can switch back to fiber. It happens, dude. So I was really worried about yesterday's stream because yesterday my stream was about to start, and what I'll do is I'll edit all my video after my stream, you know, render it out, and then I'll upload it to YouTube. And I'd started the upload at like 11 o'clock the night before, and my stream was about to begin, and the fucking YouTube upload was still going on. So it'd taken almost 12 hours to upload, you know, 4.5 hours or 4 hours of video, right? So, and of course I wasn't going to stop it, so I was really afraid that it was going to affect my stream. I just, it's a shitty internet connection. I'm still working off shared coax from Xfinity, right? It's garbage. It's just total garbage. I don't really know what else to say about it. I'm surprised I get as much out of it as I do, though, because I am streaming over Wi-Fi. My computer's connected over last gen Wi-Fi, so that works really well. But yeah, I get the odd disconnect, and I think that's more because it's the shared coax cable. DNS's fault. DNS. Well, DNS is... How is it the DNS fault? Can you explain that one for me? Okay, that's a little confusing to me. Domain name lookup is usually only to resolve a host name to an IP address, right? With my internet, it's usually just a routing problem. I'm guessing that there's just routing issues, and I'll lose a path to a certain to a route, and it'll take a second to reconnect via a different path, or for that route to come back up. At least that's my suspicion. But yeah, DNS sounds like a weird thing to play fault to, because once you actually do the DNS lookup and the DNS lookup is cached on your computer, it doesn't have to look it up again, right? Shagnunik, what it sounds like you're actually explaining there is a routing issue. Again, domain name lookup is literally just, you know, you give it like Microsoft.com, and it says, hey, you know, where's Microsoft.com? And it'll say, oh, Microsoft.com is at 192.168.725, and it'll give you that IP address, and then your DNS resolution caches that IP address. Not to mention, on top of that, if you do think that you're having unreliable DNS, you can use your own DNS engine. I don't use my internet provider's DNS, mostly because I live in Texas, and they often censor certain websites through DNS, right? So there are certain websites that I can't get to because IP providers or ISP providers will block them through DNS. So I don't use local DNS for that. Okay, back to the combat. I'm going to wait till those sprites teleport. I still need to re-update my troops. All those guys are going to die. Yeah, with mine, I'm almost assured that mine's a routing issue. That I probably have problems, being that I'm in Texas and our infrastructure sucks, and I'm on Infinity's coax stuff. Nice. The one that I use for my DNS is here. I'll show you. So there was a really awesome internet provider that we had in Utah, which was very not Utah-like, called Xmission. And their DNS wasn't protected. You could use their DNS server no matter who you were with. So I used to use them as my DNS server. I'm not sure if it's still the same anymore. Who knows? They are in Utah, so... And the laws have been getting really iffy on that stuff lately, so might be best to use one not in the United States these days. So another castle there. What is I forgot what the fuck I've been doing here. So commissions. So we got plenty of money. Spell power's okay. We've caught one villain. But if we're going to be catching any more villains, I'm almost certainly going to need to get more troops. No. Orcs? No. 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 God damn it. I guess yes then. Oh, nice. That'll help. Yeah, and I started experiencing that problem when I lived in Utah. We had our internet provider. We had a special internet provider that provided fiber optic connections, but when you use their DNS, they were censoring certain websites. So, like for example, if you went to Pornhub, for example, it would tell you that that site wasn't allowed on their service. So, you would, or any other website that they just didn't approve of. And in a place like Utah or even here in Texas, there's a lot of fucking moral high horsing going on, which, I'm sorry, I don't want people to do that to my internet connection. So yeah. And that's all blocked by DNS too. That's the only way that they block it. And it's one of the main ways that they know how to block it. A lot of them can't really block it any other way. And the only thing that you need to do to bypass it is either use the IP address directly, so bypass DNS lookup, or use another DNS host resolution. Yeah, exactly. Expand. And that's been going on in other countries that are used to be less free than America, but we're quickly catching up with. They used to do that all the time in other countries. So, wow, we already went all the way around. So I guess we probably need to look at getting, I'm going to end up having to go hire those troops over there so we can get this next guy. Plenty of days left, though, so I don't think I'm in fear of running out here. So let's go back to the main castle, and let's up our troops. C8. It's weird that I still can't use cavalry or knights. B5, A 100. Why not? Not enough gold. How many? 50 a pop. 100 would be 5,000. Does that mean I only have 1,000 gold? So I can only afford, not 50, right? No, that's 1/5 the amount. So what did I do before? 1/5 the amount would be 20? 10? 9? Nope. There we go. Now I'm out of money. Yeah, it's funny that I spent my whole life growing up in a country where, like one of the biggest brags was, oh, we got freedom here. And now, it's just no longer true. We're just slowly creeping our way down the fucking freedom index. Noise! More treasure. Did I not explore this river already? I guess this is landlocked. Or, what's here? Ooh, dwarves. I don't have any money, so at least I know where to find them. There was an undead crypt down there. I'll have to go back and look at that. I will almost certainly be playing Sid Meier's Pirates at some point in time, Shaq Nunick. However, if I do, I almost certainly won't be playing the most recent iteration. I will almost certainly be playing the original Commodore 64 version. Mainly because it's the one I'm most nostalgic for. But yeah, no, eventually. It's what, 1987 was when it was originally released? Oh yes, this would be a must. So yeah, definitely not Sid Meier's Pirates Gold, but the original Pirates, eventually. That is, I'm almost certain that is in my short list. I played that so much when I was a kid, man. Like, so much. Man, looking at these screenshots, like all the faces and, you know, the sword fighting scenes, is so goddamn nostalgic. I just recently watched a video of some dude exploiting the Pirates Gold version. Where the fuck even am I? Rather than fighting that guy, need to look into, what is this? An artifact? Freeing a virtuous maiden from the clutches of a despicable criminal, you have been granted the article of nobility and a piece of the map to the stolen scepter. So that's one of the artifacts, I think. Is this another one? Ridding the countryside of ferocious beast, the magistrate presents you with the Ring of Heroism and a piece of the map. So I'm pretty sure those were both the artifacts for this continent, or for that continent. So let's, I need to go back to that one castle and take it over and do my contract. Hidden within an ancient chest, you find maps and charts describing passages to Forestia. So I can now go to Forestia, wherever the fark that is. Which is, I think, the next continent, of course. Yeah, I will almost certainly be choosing... but if you want a good idea of what I got on my, like, soon list... So I have two lists, right? I have what I call my short list, which is where I put all of the games that I want to play on my channel at some point. That list has 1,000 games in it right now, right? It's currently at a count of 1,040 games. And then from that, I'll choose which ones that I want to play in that list the most, and I'll put it in what I call my next list, which has 39 games. Honestly, it has a lot less than that because some of them are repeats, right? As far as old PC games, the games that I have in there are BAT. I don't know if you're familiar with it, BAT. And Bat 2, the Koshin Conspiracy. Those are kind of point-and-click adventure games, kind of. So I've also recently went on a armed vehicle kick. So I also have Carmageddon for the Nintendo 64, Carmageddon Max Pack for the PC. As well as I included several other ones that aren't for the PC. Like one of the ones that I almost chose for yesterday's game for my retro console game was a game for the 3DO called Quarantine, where you play a taxi cab driver in a post-apocalyptic world. Quarantine 2 is another one. The Twisted Metal series I have on the list. Vigilante 8. So any game having to do with vehicular combat, right? I also have another game very similar to this one called the Warlord series. Warlords 1 and 2 is currently on the list. I have another tactical strategy game series called What was the original one? Shit, I can't remember. I played it the other day. Oh, Utopia, The Creation of a Nation. Second one is K240 and then Fragile Alliance. All three of those games are on my list. Undertale's on my list. I have that scheduled to be played sooner or later. Void Spire Tactics. Metal Saga. I have the latest, the PS2 Metal Saga. Time Stalkers for the Dreamcast. King's Bounty 2, which is a fan sequel to this game. Jet Grind Radio for the Dreamcast. Ghost for the PC. First in the Front Mission series, which is kind of awesome. Frogger Beyond for the GameCube, another GameCube game. Frogger Beyond seems really interesting. I have the Dune series for the PC, so the original Dune 1 and Dune 2. Dune 2 often being credited for being one of the first like true real-time strategy games, which it wasn't really. Still have Discworld 2, point-and-click adventure game, Dragon Warrior JRPG, the first one for, what is that, the original NES. I have another, the Dunes, right? I have another point-and-click adventure game, or a graphic adventure game based on the Duckman cartoon, which I really want to play. What else? Oh, I also recently purchased a couple games on Steam, which is unusual for me because I haven't been able to buy a lot of games on Steam lately. But I had a little extra money. And I bought a couple games that I put on the list. One called Let's School, which is like a school simulator, I guess is the best way to put it. It's kind of like Prison Architect, except for school. And then another one called Our Adventurers Guild, which is the same. It's, again, kind of a... You manage an adventurers guild and you send them out on missions and stuff like that. It's really interesting. So, anyway, that's kind of my entire set of next lists. Right? I think there's there's a couple other that I haven't been put on there because I haven't figured. Oh, Starlancer. I have Starlancer for the Dreamcast is also on there. One of them that I don't have on here for some reason is Interstate 76, which I don't own yet. I'm gonna actually buy that off of GOG. But it's one of those games. So I don't play a lot of games that are Windows 98 era. You can't comment on them. So it's just kind of what I do is like I when I look at these games, I see which games that I lack the most. Like, am I lacking console games the most? Am I lacking Amiga games the most? Am I lacking DOS games the most? And then I'll go to that huge short list and I'll find which of those categories that I want to play the most, right? And that's how I make this, short list. Is I take the ones out of that list for that console or that DOS or Amiga or 64, and I'll put them in this list, the ones that I absolutely just want to play. So, yeah. The more obscure, the better, man. So the fact that you haven't heard of them makes me feel confident that they're definitely obscure. I try to play the most obscure games that I can. And I often don't play... Oh, shit. Oh. So, I often don't play popular games, right? I do not want to fight you, Bubba. I need to go back to that one castle and take it over. So, let's go do that. Oh. I saw a treasure. Okay. Oh, here's the undead place. Oh, ghosts. I don't have enough money for them, do I? 252. I bet you they're going to kill my morale if I recruit them. Let me recruit one. Oh, I don't even have enough to recruit one. Oh, they're 400 each. Fucking ghosts, dude. Ghosts are awesome, Shagnunic. So one of the things that undead have this uncanny ability in this game, especially ghosts are the worst ones. So first off, I believe they can fly just like the sprites can, so you can instantly move them to any square on the map. And then when they attack a unit, right, the way the attacks go is when you attack a unit, you do damage to the unit, right? So if there's like, say my ghosts, I have 10 ghosts and I'm attacking 100 peasants, and my 10 ghosts kill 25 peasants, right? And then say the peasants with their attack power get to retaliate if it's the only time they've been attacked that round. If they're attacked more than once, they only get to retaliate once no matter what. It'll do like 1 damage to my ghost, right? So my ghost is now at 9 armies, 9 units in their armies, and then the peasants are now down to 75, right? Because peasants are wimpy, right? The advantage of ghosts, though, is you want to attack wimpy units like peasants, and then the 25 units that I ate from those peasants become ghosts. And it makes that army that much stronger. It's one of the most amazing units in the game, which is why they're so goddamn expensive. So anyway, I'm ready for another break here. This Storm, the Game Design Lexicon, we're currently playing King's Bounty. It's like a zombie army. Yeah, exactly. Zombies don't do that. There are undead zombies in the game, but they're more like the undead version of the peasants. They're not bad, but they don't regenerate like that. I think the only ones that do that are ghosts and vampires, I want to say. I could be wrong. Undead armies are really awesome. They're just really expensive. Luckily, they don't really take a lot of money to maintain, and then you have the ones like the ghosts that you can, fortify on the battlefield, which is really, really awesome. Anyway, if you like our content here, make sure you give us a follow down below on Twitch, where we do stream currently Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, noon p.m. to 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's GMT-6. If you can't catch us live in front of the studio audience, by all means, catch us over at YouTube. Just hit the subscribe and the alert button to know we're coming out with new videos. I'm going to take a short music break with some more Far Side from Bizarre Ride 2, and I will be back with some more King's Bounty for the MS-DOS platform played on Xbox.